everyone! I am super excited because today marks exactly the halfway point in my law school program, which is just, does it not feel like just a year ago that I was posting that I was going to be taking the LSAT? Like, it's just so weird how fast time goes. I am enjoying a nice glass of wine, not my first, probably won't be my last today, to celebrate. And I thought that I would sit here and do a vlog video for you guys because it's just been so long since I've done one. And I think the reason why I haven't done one, to be honest, is because I only post a video like once a month. So I feel bad for the people who could not care less about law. I figured now is a good time because I plan on filming a lot of videos over the Christmas break, so why not start with a good old-fashioned vlog. I also have a Diet Pepsi because I am super thirsty. I bought like a stupid amount of sushi for takeout because I'm like home alone tonight and just wanted to go crazy and celebrate with some wine and sushi. Now I'm dying of thirst, so it's Diet Pepsi and red wine for the rest of the night. Okay, so the way that I think that I'm going to do vlog videos from now on, because so many of you guys are requesting them, but not a lot of you asked specific questions, and I didn't know what you wanted to know about because I could sit here and ramble for like hours about law school, and I'm sure it would be really boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to answer questions from now on in vlogs. If you like these videos and you want to see more of them, ask a question, ask whatever you're interested in when it comes to law school and working and all that kind of stuff. So you can leave those questions down below or email, Facebook, Instagram, you know the jazz and you know where that information is. Let me know whatever your question is by whatever mean. And when I get enough questions, I'll do another one of these videos. So if I don't get enough questions ever, I know you hate this. If I get enough questions in, 2 weeks time, I'll do another one in 2 weeks. So it's completely based on how many questions I get from you guys. Okay, so the first question today comes from Jamie Smith, who asks, if you don't mind me asking, how did you fully know you wanted to pursue this dream? I'm in Canada majoring in psych. I think I want to be a lawyer, but I have my doubts. Girl, we all got doubts. I mean, I can't even decide what shirt I want to wear in the morning, let alone what I want to be for the rest of my life. And I have to be honest, the majority of the people in law school don't even know that they want to practice law. So you don't need to feel like you have to, have your decision set in stone before you go. I mean, I thought I wanted to be a psychologist. I was also in psych, holla for psych majors, and I loved it. So you could probably do a whole bunch of different things that you like. If law interests you, if you have the qualifications to get into law school, and it's something that you think you should do, just do it. I mean, a law degree is never a bad idea. It's something you'll always have there. If you decide you want to practice or you decide you want to use your law degree for some other means, you can. So I think that being a strong, confident, lawyer or woman with a law degree is always a great thing. And I don't know that it's my dream. In fact, probably my dream would be, to star in Broadway films all my life, but I wasn't blessed with the gift of song. X Astoria Greengrass X asks, how did my first semester of law school go? Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't the best time I've ever had in my entire life. It was stressful. I constantly felt like I got in as a joke and that they screwed up. And it was a steep learning curve. But you're with a bunch of people that are in the same position, and although you're always gonna have the assholes in class who act like they're above it all, you're gonna be able to find some really great people who you just connect with and who love debating and reading and getting into academia just as much as you, and they're there for you, and it's so great to meet those people. And you'll get through it, like we all have to get through it. It's kind of like initiation into legal life. Welcome to the party. Get over it. I mean, second semester was so much better. At the end of first semester, I didn't know if I was even meant for law school. I wasn't sure. and by second semester I was completely comfortable. So it's just something you need to get past and you'll feel much better about it, but it's not like the worst time of your life. You're going to meet a bunch of people, you're in the same section with the same group of people every single day, which is a lot of fun. I mean, I met my boyfriend in first year, so I guess I have to say I meet good people, right? Jessica1216 asks, right now I'm a third year as an undergrad student and my major is psychology. What up, psych? What is your study strategy if you have one? I think that my study strategy is really just to do what I feel like makes me learn the best. I mean, listen, if you're in undergrad, you know, you're in third year, I'm sure you're doing well. And do what works well for you. Don't second guess yourself. To learn a whole new study strategy in your third year or your first year of law school for that matter is insane. Just do whatever works well for you. Tweak it a little bit here and there. Try to learn from your mistakes. Think about right at the end of exams what you think you'd done wrong and what you wish you had done the following year. I could do a whole video about summaries and law school studying. I'm not going to talk a lot about that now. But I can tell you that my study strategy never really changed. I think mostly just trying to condense your notes at the end of the year, make them as short as possible and memorize it by using cue cards, color coding, all that fun stuff for a closed book exam, and for an open book exam, organizing that package and having as much information as you can in there with the best table of contents you could possibly have so you know where to go when you get a question. And sorry, for those of you who don't know, law school is pretty much entirely open book exams. So that's why you don't need to worry about memorizing it. You're going to have your notes there, but they have to be well organized because there's just way too much stuff to go through on the day of the exam. Diana Bella XO asks, where are you going to school? What are your grades like in undergrad? Also, did they require any community service, internships, volunteer work, etc.? I'm not going to say what school I go to. You all know I live in Toronto, so you know, you could probably deduce what school I go to if you know the schools in the area. There are only two, and I go to one of them. So you can guess which one I go to, but I'm gonna leave that question. As far as my grades, they weren't like stellar. I mean, I didn't spend all my time studying. I often didn't go to class and had to work my butt off near the end of the year, near exam time, like most of us do. So for my first 2 years, it was a low 80. 1 year, it was a 79. And then in my third and fourth year, I bumped it up, but it wasn't necessarily because I thought I was going to do something after school, although I always knew that undergrad wouldn't be the end for me, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. The reason was because I started getting into classes that were more specialized, that were smaller, that you wrote essays for, as opposed to writing these multiple choice ridiculous exams. And I started really getting into what I was learning, and I was able to choose a lot more of what I really loved. So that's why in third and fourth year I did much better. In fourth year I really brought up my grades, and that's what helped me get the average to get into law school. As far as requiring any community service internships, no one's going to say they require it, but if you're the type A type that will go into law school, you probably have it, or you spent so much time in your room studying that your grades are so high you won't need it. Like, if your grades are so high, they're going to accept you anyway. They're not going to look at the community service and stuff until you're at that kind of midway mark. So for me, I'm sure they checked my community service and internships and volunteer work and all of that, but I think most people like me would have that. I think the thing that really set me apart is that I had published a paper. That being said, not everyone is published. In fact, most people I've met in law school haven't. A lot of them have traveled, have done like these crazy internships, where like the president of their student council, like there's a bunch of things that people have done that are really pretty cool. So just do what you love, and I'm sure you'll have enough on your resume. 1992 Crisscross asks, I'm a sophomore undergraduate who is thinking about law school in the future. Why did you want to study for the LSAT in only 7 weeks, and what area of law are you interested in? I didn't want to study for the LSAT for only 7 weeks. For those of you who don't know, I did not have a lot of time to study for the LSAT. I think that you should leave yourself about 3 months. I think I allowed myself less than 7 weeks, but if that's what I said in my last video, then that's probably what it was. But it was a very short amount of time. The reason was because I just didn't know I wanted to apply to law school. I mean, I liked the idea of going into law way back in high school, but I kind of gave up that dream in undergrad, and I decided I wanted to be a psychologist. And the only reason why I wrote the LSAT was because a family member of mine was also going to write it. Turned out he never did, but he was going to, and my dad pushed me to do it with him. And so that's why I didn't start studying earlier. But I was lucky. I worked as a bartender and waitress, so I had all day to study, and I was pretty diligent for those weeks. Like, I was really riding myself hard. So if you're not someone that's really dedicated that way, or you have a job that's just far too time consuming, I would definitely leave yourself 3 months. I think 3 months is kind of the golden rule for LSATs. And then the area of law I'm interested in is actually criminal law. I am a diehard fan of criminal law. I think it's so interesting. I think all the rest of it, like contracts and people fighting over money and custody and all that stuff, I mean, it's got its place and people love it, but for me, it pales in comparison to the hardcore and, you know, coolness that is criminal law. Like, criminal law is just so cool. Sometimes you come across stories that aren't so great and that kind of make your skin crawl, but for the most part, it's so interesting. So I actually went into law school thinking I wanted to be a defense lawyer. Now I'm thinking a prosecutor. So we'll see where I end up, but I definitely love criminal law. My final question, I get this a lot, and I'm not going to say any names by who asked it, but it's, I don't understand why you don't have time to film a video. How can you possibly be that busy? And yes, people actually ask me this. The reason why is because it's law school, and you know what, I have to say, I understand why people would ask that, because you just can't appreciate it until you're in it. It's not that law school takes up so much of your time. I mean, at the beginning it does, because you don't understand how to study law, so you need all the extra time to work out the learning curve of being in law school. Once you're in second year, you kind of know what to look for, and you know how to study, and you understand it all. Now you're just doing... Well, that was fun. My boyfriend and his best friend just walked in. And they said it looked like a porno studio in here because of my studio lights. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh yeah, the amount of time I spend at law school. So yeah, it doesn't have to be this thing that's like consuming you, except it ends up being that way because you want to get the most out of law school. So you end up signing up for a lot of extra stuff, and your time ends up no longer being your own. And then you wonder halfway through the semester, this was supposed to be enjoyable, and now I'm doing a lot of free work for people I don't care about. But yeah, it's crazy busy. Just this past semester, I had 3 classes, which led to 2 exams and a 30-page paper. I worked for a legal clinic which helps people who have been convicted of very serious criminal offenses, who say that they're innocent, prove their innocence, and be released from prison. So I'm involved with that group as a student, but I'm also the only paid member of that clinic, and so I run all of its administration. I'm also doing a bunch of other extra bits and pieces, like working for the school newspaper and that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, I live with my boyfriend, so I have to clean, and I like cooking, and so I try to do that. I love my family, so I try to go home once a week. I want to see friends. So I've got a busy life, and if you're going into law school and you don't think you're going to be busy, you've got another thing coming. I think that if you're not busy during law school, if you are just sitting around at home and you're constantly bored, you're not taking advantage of it, because there's so many opportunities that law school affords students that you'll never get again. Not only that, but if you're a student and you fuck up, you can just say, I'm a student, and they just kind of smile at you adoringly and are like, okay, I guess it's my fault, and you're off the hook. Whereas if you're starting things and doing things for the first time once you're a lawyer, you don't get the same kind of leeway. So you should really just be as involved in things as possible during your law school to get as much experience as you possibly can and to enjoy yourself as much as you possibly can. And as I said, if you're bored and you're sitting around at home and you have nothing to do, I don't think you're doing it right. But anyway, that was this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any requests for Christmas videos or for beauty fashion videos that you want to see in the next few weeks, leave those down below. Also, as I said, any questions for future vlogs can be left down below, or you can give them to me on my various social media guys. And I think that's it. I will see you all in the next video. Bye!